Welcome back to the Passionate Pioneer podcast with myself, Beth Taylor, and my guest today, MEL WAKELY. Hi, Mel.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me today.
Oh, gosh, it's a pleasure. I've had a bit of a hiatus for the last 2 weeks because we had technical issues and then some personal issues. And so episode 11 has been ongoing for the last few weeks. So we're still on episode 11, which is you, and I've rescheduled the others. So welcome everybody. Welcome back to series 2. As you know, you might know me as the Passionate Pioneer. You might know me by my motto, Empowered Women, Empowered Lives. But think of this podcast as your gateway to spiritual freedom, passion, clarity, and confidence. So let me introduce Mel. So Mel is the founder of Video Queen, and he's no longer afraid to grab the phone camera and hit record. After 20 years crafting success for big brands, she's on a mission to help freedom-focused women harness the power of video. She knows the struggle is real because Mel's been there. But through her business mentoring and mindset coaching, she shows you how to leverage video to supercharge your online business growth. Get ready to break free from visibility fears and unlock mind-blowing success with Mel, your Video Queen guide. Wow, gosh.
I love it.
I know. So tell me about this dream then. What initially sparked your passion? Did you always know you wanted to be the Video Queen, or was it a journey of discovery?
It was definitely a journey of discovery, and I guess what sparked it was boredom to start off with. Because I had my own marketing consultancy, and it was running for I used to be in corporate and PR and marketing agencies, but I had a marketing consultancy which I set up when my kids were born, so I could do part-time work, and it built up and it was making it's okay, it was doing okay, but I felt like I was in my comfort zone, and all my clients were event industry. Because my background's like PR stunts and PR big brand events and stuff like that for PR for big brands. And the pandemic happened, obviously, we all know it did, and it affected everyone's lives and changed people. And that's when I realized that I was actually made for more. And I've always had this this inner pull that people talk about, that you can feel it inside you, that you're made for more, and that you haven't quite achieved what you wanted to achieve in your life. And the pandemic and boredom and no clients because of the pandemic, because they're all events industry, was kind of what got me where I am now. And with Video Queen, I just had to get visible really quickly in order to grow in the online space. And video during the pandemic was, the growth of TikTok was phenomenal. Reels came out, Instagram Reels came out in August 2020, and I was like, I've got to get onto video, and I just hated it. It took me 6 months to go live the first time.
Yeah, I can totally relate.
And then I fell in love with it.
Yeah, I can totally relate to it. I can tell you when I wrote my my book, my self-help book, The Journey, I wrote and published it. Gosh, I think it was 2018, I think. And the publishing, it was a self-published book, and the group at the time that I was with to help me self-publish really weren't into the how to market on social media. They wasn't part of their package. And I kept saying to them, well, what do I do? And they just said, go, do the video. And I was like, what do you mean do a video? I was like, what the hell?
You don't know where to start, do you?
I don't know where to start, right? And that's why I said, I don't know where to start. And they just said, start. And this is exactly, start before you're ready, just do it. And it took me, I actually didn't go live then, but I started to go live a few years later when the initial passion for my online coaching started. But it took me a long time.
To embrace video, so if you want to grow.
It took me a long time, Mel. So tell us a little bit.
And
about
also
that.
I think with women of our age, who I like to call the entrepreneurial queen ages, we grew up in the 70s, 80s. We're not digitally native. We find the apps it doesn't feel like normal. you know, they're a bit clunky, and it takes us, we do get them eventually, but it takes us a little bit longer to get our head around it. And I was very slow, you know, at first, very, very, very slow editing stuff and whatever.
We're all just like to make this point. Not all Gen Xers are all very slow. We're not slow to catch. We're very quick to catch on. Actually, we're very quick to catch on.
Exactly, that's my point. My point is,
but sometimes we're a little bit, you know, especially being British. I think we're a bit, you know, a bit introverted where it comes to sort of putting our face on camera, right?
I think as well, you know, if you go onto Instagram or TikTok, you are bombarded with like millennials and the Gen Zs, and you know, it can be quite intimidating if you're not used to being in that space, and it's very noisy as well. So yeah, it's about you know, just going for it, really, I guess. And
so you started this project because you were just like a little bit bored, and nothing was happening in your life, and you're like that nagging feeling that you talked about, which is, I'm gonna hazard a guess, it was your purpose.
Yeah, like my mission, like I've always wanted to help people, but I also wanted to leave a legacy for my kids, you know. And me, like lots of women my age who have like not had been in the corporate world for ages, you know, come out and done like freelance stuff or set up their own companies. We haven't got a big massive pension pot, and I was like, shit, I need to like make some money. I'm not getting any younger. So that was the other driver.
Yeah, you know, I totally I can totally get that. You know, it's scary making changes as you get older. And it's really funny when I reflect back in my life. I mean, I've made major changes in every decade. My 20s, my 30s, my 40s, you know, and my 50s. So I have made major leaps every decade. I'm just going to wait for my 60s. What's going to happen then, really? I'm just like, what's the universe? Where's the universe going to take me now?
I'm looking forward to my 60s as well. And hopefully I'm going to be semi-retired.
Right.
With a business that's very successful.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there was something I was watching the other day about that. It's a secret of obviously one-to-one, one-to-groups, which is one-to-many.
Yeah.
And then many to many, which is, you know, you can train other people in to do what you're doing. Yeah. And then it allows you a bit more freedom. You can step back, right? And I guess that's what we're all working towards, isn't it? So that we can
have visions of franchising and Video Queen and having like Video Queen content parties all over the world.
That's really cool though, right? That's really cool that you can go, you can travel, you know, do these video packages that you do for entrepreneurs. Women in business, basically, that you travel and you can go, where are you? We'll come to you. We'll make this whole,
and it's just, and I specifically work with midlife business women because we have so much wisdom, like you were saying earlier, you know, we're really quick to learn. We have so much wisdom and like expertise to share with the world. But we're being held back by what I call show-off shame. A lot of us at the beginning just feel like a bit like intimidated or like worried about judgment or what your family's going to say and stuff like that. And I'm on a mission to change that, basically, and to end that show-off shame.
I think the Gen Xers in the online industry, I think we're all pretty much of the same mind. You know, we're here to show that it can be done at any age. And that you just got to really step out of your own way and just jump over that fear. Once you've jumped over that fear, it does get easier. It's like, you know, the first day on a job. First day on a job for anybody, isn't it, Mel?
I know, exactly. Totally.
You know, remember first day at school, first day on the job, first day, you know, first of anything. It's always, you've always got fear, but you get over it, don't you? Just go and do it and you get over it.
And actually, you're always working through fear. And it's like even the, you know, the guru coaches, you know, spouting their 7-figure blah, blah, blah stuff. They have visibility fears still. And it's a work in progress. It's never going to be like done.
I always say that to everybody, to my friends, clients, anybody, that, you know, the success does not happen overnight, and success is an everyday thing. It's an everyday mindset. You know, you don't think that successful people don't have fears, because they do, but what the difference is they just manage to get through them.
Yeah.
And step onto the other side. And
but
that's
they
what it's
also,
all
the
about.
thing that I think is really important, and you can do that, you can do this at any stage, is you embody where you want to be.
Right. Is
When
it
you show up, you embody where you want to be. So you
Yeah.
become that beacon. It's not faking till you make it. It's more about, you know, I know what my higher self is, or my best possible self is. I know that what that woman looks like. Embody her today, and then you'll fast track getting there.
Yeah. Is that called quantum leaping by any chance?
No, I don't know. not in my world.
Not in my world either, no. But it is, isn't it? We're all trying to just,
That's
you know, take the next action step. Take the next, yeah, take the next aligned action step that you possibly can. What step?
You know what,
Okay, getting to the end the big end result maybe is not possible, but you know, but what can you do today to get you to where you need to be to get to be that person?
Exactly.
Right? Who would you want to
who
become?
do I need to be? Who do I?
Yeah.
And I always start with the energetics piece when I'm working with clients, because it's like you need to nail that energetic piece, how you want to show up, how you want people to feel when they see you on video. You know, to get that piece right at the beginning, you're gonna fly.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is. It is. It's all about, yes, there's a strategy, but most of it, a lot of it is mindset. You know, 90% of success is just showing up.
Yeah, consistently.
Yeah, showing up consistently.
Having shitloads of content, tons of it. You need so much more now than ever before. It's so much noise.
You need to have a creative imagination, and I love that. I love that about my side of the business.
That's why I love that. That's why I love this. You know, I love seeing women like go, I'm not doing TikTok. TikTok's not for me. And then they go on it and they're like, oh my God. It's like, and they love it, and they're having fun, and they're actually like building their brand and like growing their business, and they're like, why didn't I do this before? And that's success for me. That's what keeps me going, motivates me.
Yeah. And I love what you said about the, you know, leaving a legacy as well. You said, you know, I want to be, because you're like a role model for your children. So what are you teaching your children? If you stay quiet and if you stay in the shadows, like most Gen Xers, if we were grown up, we were always told to stay, just don't be loud, just stay in the shadows.
Don't be seen, don't be heard.
Don't be seen, don't be heard. Your opinion's not important, right? You know, all of that, right? So, you know, we have to overcome all of these hurdles. But it's good because, you know, we want to be role models for the future generation, and that includes our children.
And also, I think, especially with my children who don't fit the system, you know, academically. So I mean, looking at how you can make money without being in a traditional job, I think it's really important for kids nowadays, because the space is wide open. You can do anything.
Absolutely. Well, let's not say you can do anything you want, because, you know, you've got to hone it in a little bit, right? I mean,
you can follow your dream, you know.
But I do believe that if you've got a passion and a talent, you should follow it, and you should, you know, and I think we should nurture that in the young people, is what do you really love to do? You know, don't pigeonhole yourself in a box that, you know, to fit somebody else's dream.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, because the world is changing and there are a lot more options, right?
Yeah.
So tell me about your role models, mentors, or support networks that helped you, inspired you on your journey, and how important were they?
Well, I've worked with so many different people, and I've also like met so many different women, and I would say that I haven't always had the support that I wanted from my family, in terms of they don't really get. I think a lot of women, especially I think at our age, maybe it's different, I don't know, I mean what you think, but they're like, what is she doing? Is she having like a midlife crisis? Why is she like showing off on the internet? God, she's so embarrassing. You know, I get that all the time. Like, they have no idea. They don't understand what I'm trying to build.
But they don't need to. You've come to the realization that they don't need to understand, right? Because it's not their dream, it's yours.
And that's why you need that support network.
Yeah.
And the people I've met online are now my like family, you know, and I know that I can go and rant to them. I can go and like reach out to people if I feel down, you know, whatever. And I know I've got the support there, and that's what keeps me going.
Well, it's funny because we talked we caught up just a few minutes before we started this live chat tonight, and we've been in each other's worlds for quite a long time, I think, Mel, but we've
Yeah,
never
I think
actually
so.
kind of spoken. I think you've watched some of my podcasts, you've watched what I've been doing, I've been watching what you're doing. I support you,
Yeah.
you support me, but from a distance, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
But we do have, excuse me, we do have, mentors and coaches in common. We've both, well, I've worked with Andrea for a number of years. I think
Yeah.
Andrea Callanan is in your.
Andrea was my first. She was the lady who said to me that losing all my clients in the pandemic was serendipity.
Right.
Because you're bored, Mel. And I was like, yep, I am totally bored. Yeah, so she took me to the first journey. When I first started working with her, I was really armored. like literally, no, I was like, nobody was getting in, nobody's going to see the real me, and that's been broken down over the last few years.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a totally different person.
Right. Yeah, Andrea, that was the same for me. I met her just after I moved to Italy, actually.
Okay.
And met her online. I started doing so. I'd already done lots of things in 2020 that, following my intuition and doing healing courses, theta healing I did. I worked with a really nice guy called William Whitecloud that does the Create Your Destiny.
Okay.
And that's really about really fine-tuning your intuition and just drowning out the noise of the world, which has come full circle, because that's actually now what I coach.
Okay.
Is trying to, and find out what it is that you want to do, your purpose, that little voice that keeps nudging you, the one that you talked about before, right?
Yeah.
That keeps nagging in your ear, and you're like, talking to me in my right way. But it is, but yeah, she was the one that first taught me actually about the energetics and the mindset.
Yeah,
it was
definitely.
It's the intuition.
First mindset work I ever did. I'd never done any like self-development before that, and that was back in 2020. I worked with her in October 2020, so she was my first investment. And then I've spent lots of money, as you do.
Right.
Because you have to, I think, when you get into the online entrepreneur space, you have to invest in order to grow.
Yeah, you do.
I think people, it isn't easy, is it, being an entrepreneur? And if you're a midlife woman entrepreneur and go through perimenopause and all that other shit as well, then it's even harder. So I think you need to work with people to help you get to the next level where you want to be in your business. Yeah.
Well, I'm really happy that there's lots of online female entrepreneurs now talking about the menopause, perimenopause, and all the things that go with it, because it really is. It's another stage in your life, right? It's like, who am I?
Mine started at 43, and that's like nearly 10 years now. And I honestly thought, my husband thought I was going crazy. That I'd lost my mind. Turns out though that the reason it was much worse for me was because I had underlying ADHD, which I never knew I had until menopause and hormones aggravated it and brought it all out in the open.
Right. Yeah, I mean, mine started a bit later than that. Mine started when I was 48, I think 48. And I remember saying to my mom, I think I've got the hot flashes. I was like, God, I'm really hot. And my mum was like, you're too young for menopause. And I'm like, am I? I don't know. I don't know. I haven't got a... Who wrote the book on when does it 43, start?
There was like, nobody believed that what I was going through. And I even saw a consultant gynecologist, and he said, there's no such thing as hormone imbalance. And I was like, what? But the awareness now, the awareness about ADHD, the awareness about menopause and stuff, it's moved on so much in the last like 5 years. So
thank God.
So better now.
Thank God that they do understand.
Nobody else has to go through what we've went through, hopefully, other women, when they get to our age.
Yeah.
Don't wish it on anybody.
So what do you think was the biggest leap of faith that you took in this in this video queen story?
That's a hard question. I think it's not so much a leap of faith, but it's about self-belief, because you do come across obstacles all the time. You know, you're going to have launches that don't work. You're going to learn things as you go. You know, you're going to do things that people don't like, and like, you know, there's lots of, I don't want to like focus on all the negative stuff, but there's a lot, you know, that you have to go through, hurdles, in order to get where you want to be and where your vision is. And I think it's all about focusing and believing that you're the best, and that the transformation that you offer your clients is life-changing, and really believing that and following your heart and your intuition.
Very good. Yeah, it is about trusting, isn't it? Trusting in yourself, trusting in that little voice,
ignoring the naysayers,
in ignoring the naysayers, and, you know, forging through regardless. Carry on regardless. Right?
And it's hard, you know.
Yeah.
It's not easy. The people who say it's easy, you know, are just talking.
They're lying.
They're lying.
They're lying. Let's just say they're lying, because it's not easy.
It's not easy. And there's so many times when I've nearly given up.
Yeah.
You know, and I've invested lots of money into it. We've missed out on things. You know, we've had to take, you know, we haven't had.
Yeah, well, there's sacrifices to make when you choose.
Yes.
When you choose to be in service for others.
Exactly.
You know, there are things that when you're building a business, there are sacrifices that you have to make. I mean, you know, they just are.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And
absolutely.
but it is all worth it when you start serving people, when you're in service to others. It's so rewarding.
It is. And as long as you keep that in your mind's eye, you know, like don't think about the money, think about how you're helping people, and then that's half the job done.
The mindset and the energetics, right?
Mindset piece. That's just like, I didn't realize how important it was until I started doing this.
Right.
I had no idea. I'd never done any work on my mindset before. Now I've like done belief coding and like positive psychology training and coaching and like all sorts of stuff, and like got like loads of, yeah. That's
how I was when I first did the work with William back in 2020. It just blew me away, really, how you know, your higher self, your subconscious knows all the answers. It has the answers.
Yeah.
You know, I can basically, we can say, okay, what are you thinking about? And I can just, something will pop into my head and I'll say, is it this? And they're like, yes. And I'm like, oh my God, that's nuts. That's really weird. That's freaked me out. Right. And it took me a long time to kind of really,
it as well.
Yeah, to hone it and practice it and say, what, you know, I think this is what you're feeling. This is what I'm picking up on. This is what you're feeling. Yeah. And it's, you know, because it is intuition. And listen, working with clients online or working with clients in person, really, I know there's that in person when you've got groups and you're on stage, which is a different thing. But when it's just one-on-one, online, the energetics is equal.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what do you find, because you're the video queen, so you take video.
I don't really do that much one-to-one work now. I do quite a lot of in person because I absolutely love it. I love the magic of getting.
Well, because you have to do that, don't you? Because you have to be with the people with the video them, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we do the video content days, but I also do membership as well. So we do done with you services and done for you services as well, in terms of like video content production. And I also I haven't really explored this that much, but I'm going to be launching this year at some point, so I'll get around to it. Something that focuses more on mindset and the energetics behind showing up and being visible, because I think that's something I don't do enough of at the moment. Right. I've been concentrating more on like the done for you and creation services, but I think that's coming, and I think that's going to be really aligned to me, and I'm really excited about bringing that out to the open.
Very good. Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know, it's the whole package, isn't it? Like we talked about, you know, it is the mindset that is that's really important.
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about obviously some sacrifices that we make along the way, but you know, well, how did you decide what was worth letting go of? Truly.
I don't think I had much choice, to be honest. I mean, once you decide you're going to go for something, I'm quite single-minded. So I think probably some of my family have probably suffered along the way a little bit. But I have to keep going back and reminding them that it's going to be worth it in the long run. And I think that sometimes they lose faith with me. but you have to compromise because of the long term, because you can see the long-term benefits. And if you don't keep going, then what's the point of starting?
Well, you've come so far, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the thing, isn't it? You've come so far. It's like, we're not quitters. Gen Xers, we're just not quitters. We get our teeth into something and we're going for it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And okay, we might have many pivots on the way, which are basically changes. We might change our direction, but basically
that's okay as well. It doesn't matter.
Right.
I've completely changed from where I was when I sort of properly started the business in sort of, I know, spring 21, I guess. So yeah, completely different now to where I was then. You always are, and I'm going to be completely different in 3 years' time as well. So
yeah,
it's just a constant journey.
Well, that's it, isn't it? It's, when I used to watch Gordon Ramsay, the restaurant, the restaurant business, and you go into restaurants, and basically his motto, my motto is empowered women, empowered lives. His motto was change or die. And he used to go into restaurants and say, oh my God, they're so outdated. You haven't changed anything. They were reluctant to change, right? And that's it, isn't it? You've got to keep evolving because the only constant we have in life is change.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, and my mission is my clients' success, and seeing them enjoy what they're doing and like loving it and realizing that like they can just go on holiday like in August and go live because they can do it from the beach or from the bar or wherever they want. It takes no time at all, and it's like gets you loads of like eyeballs, and things like that.
Yeah, I think you're very right with the video. It's definitely something that is more and more, and I think creating that personal touch, isn't it? More that's what video does, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons
about the personal connection.
Live.
Absolutely. In 2024, it's all about personal connection. That's why in-person events have grown so massively.
Right.
And obviously in person you can't beat with video, but video is the next best thing for visibility.
Right. Which is why my last year, the series 1, I pre-recorded, but this year I decided to go live because why not?
I'm going to copy this idea when I do my podcast, which has been like in the pipeline for about 6 months.
Good for you. Good, copy me. That's great.
I know it's a really good idea to do live as well, and just everywhere, just do it everywhere. Yeah, live video is really powerful.
Yeah. So tell me what you are most proud of accomplishing on your journey so far.
I guess creating the Video Queen brand and like going through like loads of like hesitation with it. Because you get a lot of people saying, oh, Video Queen, that's really naff, or like, or like, oh, do you think
I never thought that? I thought that was a naff name. I thought, how cool is that? Video Queen.
And then I was like,
nobody thought of that
and
before.
I was like, F you. Like, I just got to like go with it. My husband just pulls faces whenever I say it, and I just have to ignore him. It's quite funny.
It's like Queenager.
But I feel 100% aligned with it. And the reason I feel aligned with it is that I had a really bad menopause thing going on. And I was like, had all this like head stuff going on. Like, am I getting old? Who am I? And like the whole identity piece, And then I realized that I'm a queen and we're all queens, and we're women in our midlife, but we still feel young inside, like a teenager inside, which is why I've built a community called the Entrepreneurial Queenagers. Because that's how we are. We're queenagers, and that's why Video Queen is called Video Queen. And I think
it's so lovely. It's such a great name, such a catchy name, and I don't think it's naff at all. And like I said, I think that how come nobody thought of it before, right? Video Queen.
And I also, it's not about me. I think people think, oh, you think you're the Video Queen, and I'm like, well, I'm quite good at video. Yeah. But I'm not like I'm not.
Oh, come on, don't be
I
shy, Mel.
I
Don't be
don't have
shy now. Now is
millions of
not the time
I
for
don't have
being
millions of
shy.
views, like some people out there, and I actually think it's not about the going viral. Obviously, going viral is amazing, but how many of those people, of those millions of views, are actually going to buy and are your target audience?
Yeah.
Video is about personal connection. The aim of video is about making personal connection with people so that they want to talk to you, build that relationship, get people into your DMs. That's why you should.
Very good. I totally agree. It's not about the numbers, is it?
No. Yeah,
it's quality over quantity, darling. Quality over quantity.
Don't care. I think I've gone semi-viral with 20-something thousand, and I've had like a few 10 and 12s, but I mean it's just not about that, really.
No. Don't
worry if you're only getting like 200 views. If you've got 1,000 followers and you're only getting 200 views, you're doing really, really well.
Right. That's exactly right. That's me.
Yeah.
Right. So
that means it's fine.
That means I'm quite aligned.
You want to get a few more, just do boost your post.
Yeah.
Strategically boost and get a few more.
So do you have any practical tips or techniques you use to stay motivated and inspired, especially when you have those external pressures and expectations?
I have to keep myself quite grounded because I go off into hyper mode, and then I'll crash and burn. So I've got more spiritual over the last few years. I love Kundalini yoga. I've got an amazing teacher in Walthamstow who's he always starts the class with like a little talk, and it's always spot on. It's always like, oh my God, you know exactly what's going on in my life. Why are you saying these things? It really freaks me out every time. I love it. So I do that. And I've learned to take time, to breathe. So even if I just take 5 minutes, just to stop, lie down on my bed and do some breathing and just deep breathing and just calm. And then everything goes back into flow. So I do quite a lot of that as well.
What type of yoga did you say it was?
Kundalini.
Very nice.
Yeah. So
very nice.
Yes.
Yeah, I used to do a lot of yoga, and the last year has just been a bit crazy for me.
Yeah.
And obviously I broke my wrist. So
oh, did you?
Difficult to do anything with a broken wrist and 2 broken ribs, I might add. So I'm
oh my gosh, how did you do that?
Oh, I slipped on some black ice outside my house actually in January, the coldest day of the year, and I'm like,
really hurts those broken ribs as well, doesn't it? Because you can't do anything about them. You just
couldn't cough, I couldn't laugh. I was just every time I was laughing because I like to laugh. I like to enjoy life, and don't make me laugh. I can't laugh.
Yeah, I love to have big belly laughs. That keeps me going.
Right, that's important. That's another thing that's important, isn't it? When you're talking about what to do, and you say lie down and you just do some breathing, or you go to yoga, or just call a friend and just have a belly laugh. Get up and dance to your favorite music. Do something, right?
Yeah.
Well, some of that stopped. I couldn't do it. I could lie down on the bed just about. All right, so talking about your well-being then, and prioritizing self-care. So you do the yoga and the breathing technique. So does that really help with your work-life balance? And
I think my work-life balance is a little bit unbalanced, actually, to be perfectly honest. It's a bit messy. I don't always prioritize myself. Entrepreneurs don't. We're driven, and I will go through periods where I work ridiculous hours, and then I'll need to take 3 days off, and I don't want to show up online. That's a reality. And I think as your business grows and you get more support and more structure and more team, then things will get easier. So
that's great advice, Mel. That's really real. That's nice. That's keeping it real and authentic, guys. That's why we go online. That's why we go.
Well, it is, and I do. And sometimes you'll notice if you follow me on social media that I don't show up for a few days. I'm getting better at that now. I've got some team behind me, and they repurpose stuff for me. But it is a thing, and that's how life is.
Constant though, as an entrepreneur, for the listeners out here that are new entrepreneurs or thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, it's not easy when you first start, because you really are the one-man band, and you go from the corporate world, like maybe we did, where you've got lots of departments. If you've got a tech problem, you call the tech
Yeah,
department, right?
exactly.
If you've got, you want to do some marketing, you go, hey, I just want to promote this, and you just think, all right, then they deal with it, right? And you've got all these different departments, and when you're on your own as an entrepreneur, solopreneur, it's a one-man band at the
It is. And also, if you're in the online space, you are just literally you and your laptop in a room. So, sometimes to start off with, and it can be quite lonely. So establish those, find those women in online. That would be my advice to support you and build those relationships, because
build those networks, build that community, build those, because sometimes you won't always have the people like we talked about already. You won't have those people that are on your side. Because maybe they don't understand. It's not they love you, but they just don't understand what you're doing. They're trying to protect you and keep you safe, and you're like, get off, I'm all right, I'm just want to go and do
and that's why showing up as yourself, authentically as yourself, and it's a bit overused word now, but it's so important, because you'll quickly find your people. So if you are just truly you and don't hide behind anything, you will find your people and you'll make friends and you'll grow your business, and it'll be good.
Okay, so what are some things that you're still learning about yourself and your goals, Mel?
I am learning that failure is okay.
Yeah, and it's a good thing.
And it's really been a struggle for me, like the whole failure thing, a massive fear of failure. Can't wait for the success, but I'm like, it's gone wrong, I'm useless, and I'm never going to be good enough. I always kind of like catastrophize. But I've learned that it's really, things will go wrong. You will not always have like success. And also you might look at success differently. You might have a different, like a kind of like a tinted view of it, because you might have this big like goal that you've got, but it's actually, you're not really committed to it. So you're not really, I don't know, aligned with it, and therefore it doesn't happen. And you need to look at other reasons why, other than yourself.
Well, it happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason.
Everything happens for a reason as well. And just to trust your intuition and take the time to look back and look at the figures, look at the numbers, look at why didn't go wrong, what was it, look at how you were feeling and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Again, it's an energetic mindset piece, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So you're a catastrophizer.
Sometimes. I'm not so much now. I'm working on it.
Okay.
I'm gonna lose the house.
Right. Gonna die. Oh, yeah. But it's true. It's true that let's look at innovators. They didn't get it right the first time. They tried and tried. Listen, Steve Jobs was kicked out of his own company. I mean,
I know, exactly. They've all got stories like that. Everybody who's a success has stories like that. So it's part of the process.
It's all part of the process and part of the story. But the thing is, just keep going.
Yeah.
You keep going and you break through eventually.
Yeah. And if you just have to keep with that self-belief.
Yeah. And it's an everyday, it's an ongoing thing, isn't it? We're never talking about one and done here. Don't look at successful people and think that that's it, they've made it and they're stopping. No, because it's an everyday thing. You've got to choose yourself, and you've got to choose the best.
Absolutely.
Every day. It's an everyday thing. It's a lifestyle change.
It is. Yeah. I agree. Totally.
So how do you define success?
I said this earlier on. See, a success for me is seeing a client who's got resistance to TikTok. I had loads of resistance to TikTok. I was like, my kids are on TikTok. They're watching really shitty like crap. What is it? It's not for me. And actually, TikTok is the fastest growing platform for Gen X women.
Right.
Like over 40s is the fastest growing demographic on TikTok at the moment.
Wow.
I know. And
I didn't know that.
Nearly over half of women, over half of the over 40s are women. So there's more than half of us are women as well. Wow. Anyway.
Wow.
So it's seeing
that's a great statistic. I didn't know that.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy. You will find your people on TikTok, definitely. And it's such a great level of TikTok when you've been on Instagram a lot, because it's like it's no style, it's just raw, and it's you.
Free flow.
normal free flow, and like you can do what you want, and everyone, the more you do what you want, the better you'll do, basically. But yeah, seeing a client like say TikTok's not for me, and then embracing the platform and loving it is like success. But I don't just teach TikTok, but that's one of the things I love seeing happen.
Okay, nice. I don't utilize it enough, to be honest. I'm going to be quite honest with you. I'm like on LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram, and I've got Threads, and I've got
Yes.
yeah, and I've got a TikTok as well, but I don't utilize it enough. Maybe I should be on there. Maybe I should go on there a little bit more.
I think so. I think your personality and your style and everything would do really well on TikTok.
Oh, right then, that's interesting. Get some tips from Mel, the video
really
queen.
well on TikTok. Yeah, definitely. Come and talk to me.
Oh, right. Okay. So, what do you think is your most unexpected benefit that you've gained from pursuing this journey?
Learning about myself, like more than I've ever. I don't know, if I hadn't done all that mindset work and all the courses and stuff like that, I would be still stuck and bored in like a crappy job, or running a consultancy with clients that didn't really light you up. And I think that and the amazing women that I've met online are the other things.
Yeah, for me, the unexpected benefit, I think, is the amazing network and community of women that I'm able to, that are now in my life.
And then meeting people in person this year has just been like taking it all to a whole another level.
Right.
I've just been, that's my thing for 2024, has been like go to as many events as possible in real life.
Right.
And they've been fantastic. And just even cemented all those relationships really, and made more friends as well. So.
Right. Yeah, retreats are on my radar.
I want to do a retreat.
Yes.
Probably won't be this year now though.
Yeah, hosting a retreat for my membership, and then also going to for me.
Yeah. You can come to ours when we do it.
I need some love.
We're going to do a spiritual visibility retreat at some point, and it's going to be in Margate. I have a vision for it that I've had for about 6 months, a bit like my podcast.
Nice.
It's coming. It's in the pipeline.
Nice. Yeah. And that's a spiritual retreat.
Spiritual visibility retreat.
That's really lovely. I like
Margate,
that.
by the sea.
Oh, nice. I like that.
Kundalini yoga, and probably a fire ceremony on the beach, and like things like private chef. That's
all right. Well,
like, yeah,
you've got my number, Mel, right?
I'll make it happen. I love doing it.
Right. Okay. Good. So tell us what's one piece of advice that you wish you'd gotten earlier on your journey?
My big advice would be do not invest in big name coaches right at the beginning. I wasted money. I have learned stuff from it, but it didn't do me. I didn't get from it what I thought I was going to get from it, if that makes sense. And actually, if you invest in people who are just a few steps ahead of where you are, and you're feeling much more aligned to them, you'll get further along in where you want to be.
Oh wow, that's great advice.
I made with
that's the first time.
Yeah, and I invested in other. I invested in other visibility coaches. I invested in social media coaches. Who are where I wanted to be, like in a year ahead, and that's where I saw the biggest growth in my business.
Wow, that's really great advice. That really is.
And that was after spending $1,000 for an hour with somebody. Like completely, like, what am I doing?
Right.
Hoping, because you do spend that time at the beginning, like searching for the magic silver bullet. You think that there's all this shiny object, whatever you call it, syndrome, and it's really easy to get drawn in and sucked into that, and it doesn't exist. Basically, it's tried and tested, and learning from what other people have done, tried and tested, and their failures and how they've moved forward is how you get to where you want to be.
Yeah, I'm not drawn to entrepreneurs that have made lots and lots of money, and just because I've had that, I invested in one. Wasn't Andrea? Was it?
Not Andrea.
Just so you know, it wasn't Andrea. It was somebody else, and yes, it was. And I thought, oh my God, what a waste of money that was, right?
Yeah.
But you do
Exactly.
learn, don't you? You do learn from those mistakes.
Yeah, and also just be really careful, because there's lots of people out there that aren't genuine as well.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so what advice would you give to women who are just starting to pursue their dreams, or they want to follow their purpose, but they might lack the confidence?
Yeah, I mean, with visibility, a lot of my clients come to me and they don't like how they sound, how they look, say things like, I haven't got anything interesting to say, I'm boring. And I'm like, no, there's a challenge. And
There's words that you're saying to yourself are very important.
and if that's you, and that's how you feel, what I ask to get my clients to do is desensitize. Okay, and you can desensitize by really simply just recording yourself on video. Don't post it, but watch it back. Make yourself watch it back and keep watching it back until you no longer have that feeling. And it will, over a period of, it might take a week or so, but if you keep kind of peeling the plaster off, and listening to yourself and actually being objective about listening to yourself, your confidence will grow, and it will just become normal after a while.
Yeah, I still get a little nervous when I go online, and especially
if I go live before doing this, but
I think
once you get going,
that's normal. It's a normal human feeling. If you're not feeling nervous, then you're just a bit nonchalant, really.
And
that's not good either.
It's adrenaline, isn't it? So that's what.
But I do agree, totally agree with Mel on that one. Is that you've got to. The first time I heard my voice, and I was like, oh,
I hated mine too.
Is that how I sound? And yet people that hear me, they say, oh, you've got such a great voice, and you're so enthusiastic, and you're inspiring. And I'm like, really? I don't feel that sometimes. But it is. And
I don't either. And sometimes I hear myself, I sometimes, like, not today so much, but other times as I'm saying stuff, I think I'm sounding like a right idiot. And then when I watch it back, I'm like, oh, you were really good.
You're such a guru, Mel. Go Mel.
It's hilarious. And actually, you're better than you think you are. And you're like, oh, right. And then that's like, oh, that's good.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing about the video is that, when you're recording yourself, you go, I just want to, so, and it's all of these. And when actually, how I practiced that was on a presentation, PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah.
And I recorded myself on there because it gives me feedback. I mean, now you can do it on anything with AI, right, these days. But a few years ago, I did it with the PowerPoint presentation, and it told me how many times I was repeating words, how many times I said, I
hate that. I just put it in the CapCut and it takes all the ums and ahs out.
Well, no, I do that, and I don't have that many these days, because I make sure I practice, and if I'm going to say I say so. And it gives my brain a chance.
Like you've taught your brain to do. That's clever.
Yeah. So.
Yes. That thought.
So what's one lasting message you would like to leave our audiences today?
If you really, really believe in yourself, follow your intuition and go for it. Just ignore anyone who says you can't. Because if you really believe that you can, you can. Absolutely.
Well, if you can, you're right. And if you can't, you're right. So you might as well choose you can, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Good. Very good. Amazing. Wow, that was a lovely chat with Mel today. So a million thanks to Mel, the video queen, for joining me today. Thanks to our audiences for hanging out with us. We hope you found it inspiring and empowering. And for more information on how you can join my ever-growing Passionista Society membership, you can message me. And if you would like to work with Mel, you could also message Mel.
You can.
And all the details will be on Spotify. So for now, it's bye from me.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Bye, everybody.
And it's bye from Mel. Bye-bye.